What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you guys had a fantastic day today, and today I have a very exciting model review for you guys. Today we're going to be taking a look at the NG models 1 to 400 scale Southwest Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8 and the Canyon Blue Colin Barrett retro paint scheme. I really hope you guys are excited for today's review, as this will be our first time reviewing an NG model 737 MAX 8 here on the channel and taking a look at this beautiful aircraft. So without any further delay, I'm going to head and take the model out of the way, and we will go ahead and get started with the box. As we know and love it, NG Models does an absolutely fantastic job on all their boxes, and this is no example here with this Canyon Blue 737 MAX 8 offering. Here's the Boeing 737 MAX 8 titled, ironically enough, right here. You have the yellowish, then the red, then the orange, and then the blue right here. Here's the CGI Southwest registration November 872 Charlie Bravo for Colin Barrett, which is really cool. Here's his sticker, by the way, and it also says Heroine of the Heart, which is really cool. NG models right here, 1 to 400 scale. You got the Boeing trademark and all of that fun stuff. Really cool box overall. Love their Canyon Blue boxes for the most part. I think they do a really good job, so that's what we love to see right here. And this was also bought from the Texan Airplane Store during the DFW one-day collectibles show back in April. That was on April 8th, 2023. So definitely recommend checking them out. They do a really good job and was able to get a pretty good deal on this and didn't even have to pay for shipping, since I was able to bring it right home here to Oklahoma from Dallas. So really cool, and we'd love to see that. Okay, so here's the aircraft right here, the 737 MAX 8. Certainly a really cool aircraft. It was really weird to kind of adjust to seeing this on Boeing 737 MAX 8, but after seeing it in real life already at the Austin Bergstrom International Airport and also getting the model of it right here, it has certainly grown on me very fast. So without any further delay, I'm going to head and tilt this aircraft a little bit so we can see what we're doing here and go ahead and get started with this beautiful mold. So we'll be taking a look very thoroughly at the mold here, since we've never reviewed one here on the channel, and also look at all the various aspects of it. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's the cockpit windows right here in the nose shape. NG is really well known for their Boeing 737 nose shape on the 800 mold, and this one is no exception to this, so really great job here. You also got the nose cowling piece right here in the Colin Barrett sticker right here, which is really cool. Here's the nose landing gear door, 872 ETOPS, so this is ETOPS aircraft, which is really cool. So it really depends on quality control, it seems like, from my early observations when it comes to the 737 MAX mold, although it could just be in this one-off situation right here. But I'm going to bring in my Desert Gold Retro 737 MAX 8 and kind of take a look at that nose landing gear first to get the negatives out of the way. So as you can see, this nose landing gear back there sits a little bit too far in front, as you can see. So let me just bring it, because I was going to put it side by side, but it's weird because on the other side it's not as prominent. But as you can see on this one, the nose landing gear is pretty far in front and maybe just slightly too high. But then on this side, it doesn't look near as bad. As you can see, the tire is kind of wonky as on this one too. That is because, as you can see, the nose landing gear piece is a little too big on the rod and it kind of bounces back and forth. So it's not a huge deal, but just something I thought I would note. But the good news is, and why I really like this model, is that on the Canyon Blue version, they did a very good job to make sure it was straight up, the right height and everything. Now, I said this in the massive unboxing as well. I was super happy to see that the height was correct, the proportions were correct, the nose landing gear door wasn't too big. Just was so nice to see this all in one mold in 737 MAX, and I think it definitely solidifies itself as the best 1 to 400 offering of the 737 MAX. The Gemini Jets mold is really good, but it does lack when it comes to nose landing gear height. It is just slightly too tall in between the correct proportions on the engine mold and also just the beautiful landing gear detail on the nose landing gear. It just makes it look like a 737 MAX in 1 to 400 scale. So that's what we love to see, and a really good job here by NG Models for representing all those various characteristics. So very nicely done right here. Here's the L1 boarding door, and of course Southwest in their all economy format. Let me know if you like the old cabin and the new cabin better. I personally slightly prefer the old cabin simply because of the lower back seat padding, although the newer seats have certainly grown on me since I thought about it a little bit more. So they're not bad by any means. They're certainly better than some of the other low-cost carriers out there. So that's what we love to see. Here are our engines. They look really nice right here. NG Models did a really good job to represent those in their full detail. So that's what we love to see. Sorry if it was a little out of focus there, everybody. I apologize about that if it was. Nevertheless, here are the engines right there. So that's what we love to see. And here's another view here at the front just to get a different perspective of it. Just like the 737 NG mold as well, NG Models did an outstanding job here of really getting after the indentation and ultimately the craft of the slats, flaps, and speed brakes. It makes the mold just really pop and look like a 1 to 200, so that's really cool. So that's what we're finding here with the slats. You have the outline right here. Then you got the beautiful Southwest winglet. It does say southwest.com on it, which is really nice, so that's what we love to see. I'm still interested on this one in the desert that they didn't paint the underneath part of the Max winglet. It's just gray, so I don't know why that is, but it's certainly very interesting at the very least. And then we have the emergency exit pad, the emergency exits right here. And again, some really great detail here with the speed brakes and the flaps. Just really great. They did a fantastic job. Plenty of antennas right here. We have one right here. We have this Wi-Fi box and 2 down here. I also kind of forgot to note, and I'll show it a little bit more on the top down. You can see various panels up there on the front as well. So NG models are really getting after detail, which is what we'd love to see. We have one more antenna back here before getting to our registration November 872 Charlie Bravo. We have the 872 and E-tops above the L2 door, which is also really nicely detailed with handles, the window and everything, just like the L1 door. And here is the beautiful Southwest Airlines tail. They did a really good job on the craft here. Really like the detail on it. The APU looks really good. The horizontal stabilizers is on point, and ultimately really great job here by NG on all the various aspects of this mold. On the right side of the aircraft, very similar, but you do have the 2 baggage doors, and ultimately really good. This antenna did get a little dinked up. I don't know if it's just this particular one or what happened, but nevertheless, not a problem at all. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do 2 different spin arounds to really give you a perspective on this mold because it is so new. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a spin around of the aircraft from the perspective we're currently at, and then I'm going to flip the camera around and get a lower perspective so you can see how the wings look from a lower perspective. So here we go for a turnaround on this Canyon Blue Max 8 mold. So here we go for a look around. So here's the left side of the aircraft. Here is the front left. And here is a head-on perspective from an elevated view. Here's the front right. And here's what the aircraft looks like from the right. Here's the back right. And here is a rear shot from this perspective. And this is the back left and where we started here at the left. Also from this perspective, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the top and bottom because this is a pretty good position to do so. Here's the top of the aircraft. You can see some really great details there. There's those panels once again. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. There's those panels once again. So a great job to represent those. They look really good. Again, top of the fuselage looks really good. You got your Wi-Fi box, the antennas, and all those fun details. Here's the bottom of the aircraft. Really one of the major drawbacks, if I had to pick one, it's still a great mold, don't get me wrong, but I think this was because they based off the 737 NG mold they currently have. There is no stand hole, which is unfortunate, but outside of that, really great detail, especially here on the bottom of the engines. They look really cool. Let me see if I can zoom in to get a little bit better of a view there of what I'm referring to. I don't want it to focus on my finger. There we go. You can kind of see what I'm referring to. So sorry about the focus, but nevertheless, still looks really great. And all the great detail down here as well. Let me flip the cameras around and then you can see the wings from the other perspective. Alrighty everybody, so here we go for a little bit of a spin around here on the bottom side. As you can see, the wings are really nicely leveled here. Just a little bit of flex, which is what they're supposed to have, but not too much. So here is the left side again. Here is the front left. Here is the front of the aircraft. Again, the wings look really good. The right one right there, it seems to be just maybe a touch more elevated, but certainly very neglectable at that. Here is the front right. And here is the right. Here is the back right. And here is the back. Here is the back left. And lastly, here is the left again. Ultimately, this is a really cool model by NG. They did a really good job. This is a really fantastic new mold to add into the lineup of 1:400 scale. I think it is superior to the Gemini Jets version. The Gemini is really great, but the nose landing gear detail and just a couple of different proportions really make it for me here on this NG build. Don't get me wrong, the Gemini Jet 737 MAX mold is certainly one of their best offerings, and I think that it's a great mold, very acceptable in various ways. A huge step up from Gemini Jet to 737 NG molds, but nevertheless, if I had to pick one, this one is certainly worth the extra couple bucks, and I think that NG Models does a great job. Now, in contrast here, I'll bring this model in real quick. I haven't decided if I want to review it yet. I might swing back around to it here in a couple months. But here's the Desert 737 MAX 8. This model turned out really great as well outside of the color. That's the one major drawback. Outside that, the nose landing gear, as you can see, it tilts just a little bit forward, and I think that was just them trying to get this all crafted out since this was one of their first aircraft on this mold. Now, they are going to be doing the new Hawaii one. I think it's Aluna one, I'm not sure what the correct pronunciation is off the top of my head, but the Hawaii one, state livery Southwest has now, so I'm excited to see how they do on that, and hopefully they do a really good job on it. It's a very complex livery, so it could certainly go various ways. Here's a Gemini Jets Max right here. This is a Gull offering right here, and you can see there's just a couple of really small details here that can make or break it. For me particularly, what makes it here, or what the model's really good still, don't get me wrong. But what really stands out compared to just assessing that NG one, the nose landing gear, the QC is not great. You can see where the tire kind of went kind of wacky. The nose shape's also not of desirability compared to the NG offering, and also the engine over here is tilted up and too high up on the root. I guess I could fix that if I really wanted to, but of course the objective is to have pretty good products so you don't have to fix them. And the antennas are also slightly big. This isn't the nitpick or, you know, get after Gemini jets. It's just a thorough assessment. You can also see that the wings are just slightly too flexed here. A notable change, of course, so you can see, especially the left one, especially is of note. The right side at least does look better. The landing gear on this side is more tolerable. The engine is certainly in a better position, and the wing is also much better. So, but it's just the inconsistencies, and that's what it comes down to here in 1:400 scale, in many people's opinions. I do want to look at this nose landing gear just a little bit here real quick. I know this wasn't a review on this model, but just the contrast, you can see how kind of wonky it is, and certainly is a very interesting offering. I don't think that the tires are supposed to be going in like that, and it also appears that the nose landing gear is bent, so I guess I'll bend it back to have a fair assessment because it could have just been mine. But in all reality, it never should have been that way to begin with. So, but nevertheless, unfortunately, trying to do that. Typically this works, but unfortunately the nose tire did break off, so I'll just go ahead and glue it back in. But typically, I don't recommend bending parts unless you know what you're doing, and typically that works, but especially on small parts like the winglets and everything, and the tails. Typically, if you need to bend those back, they're a little bit more, and wings, they're a little bit more flexible, opposed to a model like this where nose landing gear just need a very slight bent, and unfortunately bent the nose landing gear right off. So that's not a problem though, I'll fix that back right up. Just trying to fix the proportions, and unfortunately it went wrong. But don't let that scare you from trying to fix your models. Just know what you're doing if you are going to fix them. Anyways, though, that will do it for today's review, everybody. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Certainly a nice assessment here on the 737 MAX molds, and why NG's offering is a very good one. So really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, but nevertheless, that'll do for today's video, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do what you love and love what you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.